Revenge films.
My husband's mother passed away when he was in high school, and his father married someone else after his wife's death. 6 months after being married to his second wife, they welcomed a daughter. It turns out that my father-in-law was having an affair while he was still married to his first wife. My husband's stepmother disliked him and kicked him out of the house as soon as she was legally married to her father. So, after his mother's death, my husband moved in with his grandparents, the parents of his late mother. My husband only saw his father when it was absolutely necessary, so that meant that he had no contact with his stepmother and half-sister. After becoming an adult, my husband cut all ties with his father. My husband had no respect for his father for cheating on his mother and marrying someone like his stepmother. I never met my father-in-law, but I disliked him for the way that he treated his first wife and his son in the past. But then all of a sudden, my husband's family reached out to him. It seemed that his half-sister was getting married. She had taken someone's husband away from them. She had an affair with the husband of my husband's cousin. They met through work and she seduced him after that. The husband of the cousin was reluctant to start an affair, but my husband's half-sister was very persuasive and aggressive. After they spent their first night together, their affair began. I knew that I couldn't entirely blame my husband's half-sister for the affair, but I felt that she was the wicked one out of the two. My husband's half-sister became pregnant with her lover's baby and went and told his wife about their affair. She practically forced her lover and his wife to get divorced. Her lover and his wife didn't have any children, so it made her lover easier to choose my husband's half-sister over his wife. My husband's cousin was upset about the affair and kicked her husband out of the house. My husband's half-sister was thrilled about getting married and felt no guilt over what she had done. She assumed that her lover came from a rich family and she was excited to become part of his family. Her husband-to-be was always impeccably dressed and owned a lot of nice things. He also bragged to everyone about being rich. My husband's half-sister felt like she had hit the jackpot and was satisfied with herself. She couldn't wait to start her new life as the wife of a wealthy man. But she was wrong in assuming all this because her husband-to-be was not from a rich family. It was his ex-wife's family that was wealthy. My mother-in-law grew up in a very well-to-do family, and they owned a lot of properties. My husband's cousin's family was also in the real estate business, and their company was very profitable. So basically, it was their half-sister's husband-to-be who had married into a rich family by marrying his first wife. He had been using his ex-wife's family's money to buy himself nice things, so some women may have considered him to be a catch if they thought that he was buying all those things with his own money. My husband's half-sister had no idea that the man she was marrying was not, in fact, rich at all. My husband's cousin was an only child, so her family was eager to hand over their business to her husband, but now they were divorced. Her ex-husband wasn't going to get anything from them. In the end, my husband was left in charge of the entire family fortune. Currently, my husband is employed with another company, but in a few years' time, he will take over his family's legacy as the CEO. It was all too late by the time that my husband's half-sister found out about the truth about her husband. The half-sister's husband owed alimony to his first wife for cheating on her with his half-sister. When the husband's company found out about the affair, they fired him, so he was totally broke. The half-sister couldn't stay with the company either, as she was his lover. They were newlyweds expecting a baby together, but both of them were unemployed and owed money to the husband's ex-wife. My husband moved in with his grandparents after he lost his mother, and he was also close to his cousin and her family. I also knew that my husband's cousin well through him, and so I was happy that she had gotten divorced from her pathetic husband. My husband's half-sister was devastated and upset because her marriage was nothing like she had imagined it to be. She found out from her father later that she had married the ex-husband of her half-brother's cousin. When she found out that her half-brother came from a good family, she was eager to reach out to him. She was hoping that my husband would sort out her financial issues for her. She came over to our house unannounced during her final month of pregnancy. That day, we were having a family celebration of our son's high school graduation. I didn't know what my husband's half-sister looked like because I had never met her before. When she rang the doorbell, I answered and asked for her name. She then began to cry at my doorstep.
My name is Karen. I came to see my half-brother today.
I could tell that she was totally faking it and was reluctant to open the door for her. I explained to everyone who was at the door. My husband's cousin got up to speak to Karen. She opened the door and saw Karen standing there, tears rolling down her cheeks. When Karen saw that it was her husband's ex-wife standing in front of her, she froze in shock.
Why? If it isn't Karen, the woman who stole my husband from me. Didn't my lawyer instruct you to stay away from my family?
My husband's cousin was not happy to see Karen at our house, but she played it cool and even laughed a couple times. My husband and I went to the entrance to check up on his cousin.
I'm not here to see you. I came to see my half-brother.
She then looked at my husband and with hopeful eyes,
I need your help. I'm about to become a mother, but I don't have a job right now. Would you please support me as my half-brother?
I'm sorry, but we can't help you after what you did to my husband's cousin. She's part of our family now, and we cherish her. I also know that your mother was very cruel to my husband after he lost his mother.
I apologize for my mother's behavior, but I was still young at the time. I'm not like her at all.
Are you sure? Because it looks like you followed her footsteps. You need to leave now. I then shut the front door on her face. I then gave my husband's cousin some salt to purify the atmosphere that had been dirtied with Karen's presence. My husband's cousin's lawyer went to see my husband's father and stepmother and warned them that Karen shouldn't be bothering us. Karen and her husband remained unemployed, and because of their bad reputations, it's not going to be easy for them to get jobs. We live in a small town and rumors spread fast. Karen tried to get revenge by sending threats to my husband's cousin's family, but it was useless. They were much more powerful than she was. She tried to spread false rumors about the family, but was unsuccessful in the end. My husband's cousin's family sued Karen for her bad behavior. My husband's father promised that she wouldn't bother any of us anymore. Karen had no right to complain about her situation. She did this to herself, and it was unforgivable that she stole the cousin's husband away from her. Karen gave birth to her baby soon after, but was concerned because neither her nor her husband were able to find any work. It was ironic that my husband's stepmother kicked him out of the house, and then her daughter went and married someone for his own side of the family. She was jealous of the fact that her stepson was so rich and successful. Could you please do me a favor and help Karen out? She has no one else to turn to. I apologize for the way I treated you in the past. I realize how wrong that was now. Can you please forgive me and accept us as part of your family? My husband laughed when he received the phone call from his stepmother.
I'd rather help out strangers than help you guys out. Please, don't ever call me again. Karen deserves to suffer after the way she treated my cousin.
You should be grateful that I kicked you out when I did. It allowed you to become closer to your family's real estate business, which is why you're so successful now.
You've got to be kidding me! You and my father have been nothing but horrible to me! If I were you, I'd get Karen to move somewhere far away from here. No one is going to take her seriously in this town after what she did to my family.
How dare you be so cold to me? I know that you're loaded. I'm sure that you can afford to spare some money.
I don't have money to waste on you.
My husband then hung up the phone on his stepmother. He despised his stepmother for kicking him out of the house when he was really upset about losing his beloved mother. At the time, he was still in high school and couldn't do anything about it. But now that he was all grown up, he wasn't going to be nice to his stepmother. In the end, Karen and her husband moved out of town. They were completely broke and didn't have a bright future ahead of them. It was obvious that they had many hardships ahead of them. They live each day wondering when they'll run out of food to eat. Karen should have known that she couldn't attain happiness by ruining someone else's life. Karen and her husband need to spend the rest of their lives making it up to all the people that they have wronged in the past.
How was today's video? If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment. Stay tuned for more.